Hello and welcome to my review of the 6th week from the English Premier League. And again, I'm not sure how many times I'm going to say it, but really, every week it seems to get better and better. The games this week were absolutely superb, cracking goals again, and you guys are going to probably get sick and tired of me saying this, but it's true. The Barclays Premier League is the best league in the world. Enough chit-chat now, let's get down to business. The first game was the London derby here at White Hart Lane featuring Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. Quite an intriguing game. I'm not sure if you guys saw the lineups. If you haven't, they're on the screen. And as you can probably tell, Jose Mourinho really chose Chelsea's lineup to be extremely defensive. I'm not sure why he does that. I think he wants to play tactics, trying to be a bit smart, trying to get one over on the opposition, and a couple of times this year he's done it against Tottenham and Basel and Manchester United. They haven't really worked in his favour at all, and therefore in the first half Tottenham were totally dominant. Absolutely played Chelsea off the park, and deservedly so. They got a goal. Probably could have got a little more. And really, I think this what cost AVB's side the 3 points in the end. In the second half, though, Chelsea were a completely different team, as you would expect. He brought Juan Mata on, and Mata completely changed the game. They were more positive going forward, more creative offensively, and to be fair, Fernando Torres was an integral part of this, and in my opinion, he was unfairly sent off, and Mourinho was right when he said that Jan Vertonghen was really playing for that red card. So in the end, it finished Tottenham 1, Chelsea 1, and I think really at the end of it, deservingly so. The next game was at Villa Park, where Aston Villa miraculously beat Manchester City 3-2. Villa chose quite a defensive formation, 5-3-2, but it worked. It really did. They showed fighting spirit to come back from the goal. Was it 2-1 or 2-0 down? I cannot remember that. However, City were in control for most of the game. They got goals through Eden Dzeko, and Yaya Toure again dominated the midfield like he does, and they were quite dominant all over the pitch. However, they then just switched off for some reason. I think that they were, in conservative mode really, and then they just turned off, and Aston Villa pounced. Villa, they got the goals, at the critical times, and Manchester City really didn't have an answer. Villa were also really spurred on by their home fans, and they got the 3 points. And I think that, after last week's thrashing against their rivals, Manchester City, they can't take these teams lightly. If they want to win the Champions League and the Premier League, Pellegrini, he's going to have to get the 3 points like at places like Aston Villa, where, it's going to be tough. Unfortunately, he didn't, and congratulations to Villa on a deserved 3 points. At Craven Cottage, Fulham took on Cardiff, and Cardiff again got another late goal, and Fulham conceding that late goal, and the final score was Fulham 1, Cardiff 2. The Fulham fans are very, very angry. At the end of the game, again, they were chanting Yol out, Martin Yol out of the club to get sacked. Could he be the second manager to get sacked in as many weeks? Possibly, but there's no doubt about it, he is under pressure. There was a couple of good pointers from Fulham. Brian Ruiz is a great player, and credit to him. That was a fantastic goal that he scored. And to be fair, Fulham did create chances. They've got good players going forward. There's no doubt about that. But the problem is, it's all good and well to make the chances. You got to take them and put it into the back of the net. And Fulham didn't do that. And for Cardiff, again, as I said in the preview, they were going to be defensive and going to hit them on the counter-attack. They did. They played well to the last minute, and they got the 90th minute goal. And Fulham, again, you got to play until the final whistle. Fulham didn't. Cost them 3 points, and it could cost Martin Yol his job. The next game is where Hull took on West Ham United, and the game finished Hull 1, West Ham 0. Again, clearly, West Ham are missing Andy Carroll so bad, and Hull, again, credit to them, were kept fighting, and they deserved the win. The game opened up really after, I believe it was Brady got the penalty, and because, West Ham wanted to get a nice away point, or just a point away, really. And the game, therefore, the game opened up, as I said, and West Ham really they went forward, all guns blazing, but they had no success in that. And I think they're missing Andy Carroll. That's plain and simple. So Sam Allardyce really better hope that Carroll's fit in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, West Ham may be slipping down to the bottom of the table. But this is arguably the biggest shock this week. Manchester United taking on West Albion Bromwich at Old Trafford, and the final result was Manchester United 1, West Albion Bromwich 2. West Ham, it's a first win at Old Trafford ever, I believe, and to be fair, totally deserved. United, I'm not sure how many times I'm going to say this year, but they were so lackluster in all facets of the game, apart from Wayne Rooney, who, he's going to try his hardest, but everything can't revolve around one play. This is Manchester United we are talking about, and clearly there is problems at United. I don't think Moyes has really got the players, buying into his plan, and I think it shows. They're just unsure, what they're expected to do, and players like, Shinji Kagawa, who is a world-class player in my opinion, but he's not getting the time, and he even admitted that he's fighting for his career at Manchester United. I mean, how? He's a great player. He deserves to play. Moyes, he sent out a weakened Manchester United squad, and it showed. He completely underestimated West Albion. He wanted to look ahead against Shakhtar in the Champions League, but it's the old cliche, you got to take one game at a time. He didn't. He's lost 3 points, and, again, another manager under pressure. So, watch this space. At St Mary's, Southampton took on Crystal Palace, and the game finished Southampton 2, Crystal Palace 1. Basically, the game went to script as I predicted. I didn't predict the right score, but the game plan really was Southampton came out flying. And they're a really good team in form. Their strikers are also in form. Lambert, a perfect free kick, unbelievable. And Daniel Osvaldo, who I told you would score. And again, Southampton, they are a complete team, and if they continue to play like this under Pochettino, they can achieve really high standards for themselves. However, on the other side of the pitch, for Palace, there's a fair few problems. As you saw in the game, not sure. They've already got teammates fighting. Shamak was involved in it. And really, I think it's tough times ahead for Ian Holloway. And what he has to do now is he really has to group the players together. They have to string a couple of good performances together in order just to get the fans up and get the whole place at Palace, buzzing. Because if it continues like this, I'm really afraid to say that they could be going back down to the Championship. To Wales now, where Swansea took on Arsenal, and the game finished Swansea 1, Arsenal 2. Now, the game really was quite an interesting one. Swansea really pressured Arsenal in the first half, didn't allow them any time, any space on the ball, and it was quite frustrating for me. I was really annoyed, but credit to Swansea, they played well. But in the second half, Arsenal came out, they increased their tempo, and when they do that, they're unbelievable, and it's really so hard to play against. And Serge Gnabry got the goal, which was a fantastic goal, and you would have guessed it, yep, Aaron Ramsey scored again. He's unbelievable, scoring a goal basically every game. At the end, it was a good goal to Swansea. I think it was Ben Davis, the fullback, who threw a little chip ball from Boney. But for Swansea, it was a little too late. It was a game of really a lot of possession, a lot of tactical work on and off the ball. But again, Swansea, they lost, but they can't be taken lightly. Good team, and unlucky. But Arsenal, top of the table now, haven't lost since their first day defeat to Aston Villa, and if that continues, I really think that finally we can win a trophy, and it would be a good one. Stoke City versus Norwich next, and Stoke City actually got defeated at home 1-0 to Norwich City. Norwich, again, kind of like Swansea in the previous game, they came out and pressured Stoke amazingly, kept pressing them higher and higher up the pitch, and Stoke weren't allowed to play that, Mark Hughes' game, the passing game, because Norwich wouldn't allow them. Did Leroy Fer commit a penalty against Kenwyne Jones? I believe he did. It's quite obvious, He had no intention of getting the ball. He was just trying to really yank Kenwyne Jones out of the way, and it should have been a penalty. However, it wasn't, and I believe Johnny Houston scored the goal for Norwich. Indeed, he did. And I think for Begovic, a top quality keeper like that, really should have saved it. Then again, Stoke had limited chances. This is at home as well. And Norwich came away with a good win, deservedly so. Chris Hughton said his club needed the win. I believe they did. And I think Norwich can continue on. As I said a couple of weeks ago, watch out for Norwich. If they do, have a couple of good performances, they could be something, and finish high, mid-table. And I think with this win, they can really kick on. The second last game was at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland took on Liverpool, and unfortunately for the new manager at Sunderland, or the caretaker one at least, they lost 3-1. Luis Suarez, again, you could tell in the Capital One Cup game against Manchester United and the week before against Southampton that they needed him. There was only one player that was going to take Liverpool to where they want to go, and it's win the title. And that player is Luis Suarez. I don't care what he does on off the field or wherever. It's on the field. Luis Suarez, just stop being angry and just calm it down. Because when you're in form, when you're playing as good as you are, you're arguably one of the best strikers in the world. And he was great. Scored 2 goals. Was immensely running up and down the field, getting in every bit of play for Liverpool. And however, Sunderland, they did show signs of life. So I think Seb Larsson hit the woodwork, indeed. And players like Adam Johnson really showed that they can be something. However, Liverpool obviously have better players, and they did outclass them. And it was really a good game to watch. I think Brendan Rodgers would be proud of how Liverpool took it. It's never easy going to a place like Sunderland where, the fans are going to be united around the players, to ensure that the manager gets a win. So to go there and really completely dominate them 3-1 and have good performances by players such as Sturridge and Suarez, I think Brendan Rodgers should be really proud, and Liverpool can continue to achieve wins and go on to not only be in the top 4, but to achieve the ultimate glory which they want. Now, finally, the final game, the Monday night game, is at Goodison Park, and it was Everton taking on Newcastle United, and the game ended Everton 3, Newcastle United 2. Don't worry about the scoreline, because that tells a completely different story. You got to go and watch the game, because it was a game really of 2 halves. Everton absolutely destroyed Newcastle in the first half. Just absolutely ran them, played them off the pitch. Romelu Lukaku was easily man of the match. He was uncontainable, making runs, diagonal runs in, running beyond the Newcastle United defence. Colaccini didn't know what to do. Colaccini was kind of afraid of Lukaku at times. He didn't want to get too physical, and if he didn't get too close to him, Lukaku would then use his speed and make the runs in and beyond to the Newcastle goal. However, in the second half, once Everton were 3-0 up, they were in cruise mode. Newcastle did get 2 goals back, but really there were no chance to win. It would have been unfair on Everton if they had drawn this game. So really don't believe the scoreline, but there are signs of life for Newcastle, who were, played an okay second half. But it was really all about Everton. They possessed the ball great, impressive displays from, Lukaku, obviously, Barkley, Gareth Barry, James McCarthy, all these players that, Roberto Martinez has brought in. These players, are quality players, not only for Everton, but I think for any team, because believe it or not, I believe that if Everton continue to play the way they have been, and indeed the way that I think they will be playing in the next couple of weeks, they really could be the dark horses, not only to finish in the Champions, but to be up thereabouts for the title. He's got the team playing well, and I think they can, on their day, they can play and beat just about anyone in the league. So, those are the results. The table will be on the screen for you guys right now. I'll find out where your team is, where they're sitting, how many points they're on, and where they are in the table, because, you don't want your team down the bottom, and if they are, well, you got to really support them. However, that's my review video for the 6th week here. I hope your team won. If they didn't, condolences. I know how that feels, only one time, but it's not good, and you know, you've always got next week. Just remember that. So I'll see you soon for my next video, and that'll be just about all for right now. Thank you very much, and goodbye.